The Mariana Trench is the deepest known part of the Pacific Ocean, plunging to around 11,000 meters, and that's only what's been measured so far. The true depth could be even greater, hidden from our reach. At such an extreme depth, no sunlight penetrates, leaving a pitch-black world teeming with mysteries and strange life forms we've barely begun to understand. In this video, we'll explore 15 of the most terrifying discoveries ever made in the depths of the Mariana Trench. Number 15. Fanfin sea devils. Fanfin sea devils are truly weird fishes. For one, not much is actually known about them at the moment, and I think that's on purpose. These guys live in total darkness, up to a mile below sea level. With the Fanfin sea devil, it's pretty much a done deal for the prey. These fishes live in very dark sections of the ocean where they hide and wait. But they don't just stalk. They actually attract their prey by flashing blue luminescent lights. And once the prey gets close enough, yep, you bet, it's good night, Irene. Despite their blue lights, Fanfin sea devils have rather peculiar bodies. For instance, these anglerfish come with scary-looking spikes protruding out of their bodies. Their mouths are also pretty much filled with teeth and their stomachs are expandable. This means that the Fanfin sea devils can literally swallow prey much larger than themselves and still be fine. Number 14. Grand Rojo jellyfish. The Grand Rojo jellyfish is one aquatic species that proves just how much we still don't know about our oceans, despite all of the explorations that have been done. Named for its size and red color, the jellyfish was actually only discovered in 2003, and ever since then, only a few of them have been seen around the world. With a spaceship-like body, the Grand Rojo jellyfish is an otherworldly creature. However, Big Red, as it is sometimes called, is also quite different from other jellyfish species. It doesn't have any tentacles, instead choosing to capture its prey with its large arms. I mean, look at those beefcakes. I bet one of these jellyfish could give Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a run for his money. Rare and incredibly elusive, the Grand Rojo jellyfish are known to swim to depths as low as 4,800 feet, and in some instances they could even go up to 7,000 feet. Considering that they can also grow up to 3.2 feet in diameter, it's a wonder that we just discovered these guys recently. No one knows what they eat. Although scientists believe that they feast on small fish and zooplankton, we also don't know if they can sting and entangle their prey like other jellyfish. I wouldn't be surprised if they could though. These guys don't look so friendly. Number 13. Ping-pong tree sponge. When you see a sponge in the water, it would be pretty difficult to believe it's actually an animal, but it truly is. And among the many sponge species available, the ping-pong tree sponge is definitely one of the most beautiful. Like other sponges, the ping-pong tree sponge doesn't move. These guys just go about their business without bothering anyone. The cool cats of the ocean, you know. The sponge is only a few feet tall, and it consists of a thin stalk that radiates out of its body. And at the end of each stem, you can find a lovely, almost transparent globule. Now, you might be tempted to touch the globule of a ping-pong tree sponge when you see one. Helpful advice: don't. Despite their beautiful looks, those globules are actually covered in tiny hook-shaped spikes that trap their prey. A tiny crustacean or sea creature could be passing by and would see the globule. It wants to touch it and boom, it gets caught. As the prey tries to break free of the hold, the cells inside the sponge will immediately act and start consuming the prey slowly until it dies. Wow, talk about if looks could kill. Just like the pretty girl in high school, the ping-pong tree sponge doesn't sit close to other sponges. They're usually found at depths of about 9,000 feet below sea level where other sponges and a lot of predators won't even be able to reach. Number 12. Deep-sea volcanoes. You might think that volcanoes only erupt on land. I mean, all of the volcanoes we've actually seen in movies and films tend to happen only on land. However, you'd be surprised at just how many of them actually occur underwater. And when it comes to the deep depths of the sea, these are actually more common than you think. As far back as 2009, scientists had discovered over 5,000 active volcanoes underwater, amounting to over 75% of the total lava that erupts. Interestingly, however, only about 120 of those volcanoes have erupted in the past 11,000 years. And the Mariana region alone, where the Mariana Trench is located, is home to 9 volcanic islands and over 60 submarine volcanoes. Looks like these guys are just sitting, chilling, and feeling lazy. The reason why underwater volcanoes might not necessarily be so popular is that they don't get so serious. After all, once molten magma erupts and hits the ocean water, it starts to cool and relax. The result is a vast sea of molten glass that sits on the ocean floor. However, the deepest oceanic volcano happened back in 2009. In an expedition, scientists from the University of Washington and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association captured the volcanic eruption underwater on the 4th of July. Images show a large volcano stood at about a mile over the ocean floor with its depths reaching about 4,000 meters. Besides being the deepest oceanic volcano yet, It was also believed to be one of the hottest ever recorded. Good thing it happened underwater, right? Now it's time for today's topic. Cage divers near the Mariana Trench expected the usual adrenaline rush of watching large sharks circle their boat. For the first hour, the experience was routine. Several big sharks darted in and out of view, brushing against the cage as cameras rolled. Then, without warning, every shark in the area disappeared. The water grew unnervingly calm, as if the predators had sensed something far greater moving in the depths. Moments later, the divers saw it, a colossal shadow rising from the dark waters below. The massive shark glided past the cage, its body so enormous that only sections of it could be captured on film at once. Divers froze as its unblinking eye locked on them briefly before the creature slipped back into the abyss. Compared to any known great white, the difference in size was staggering. Marine experts later reviewed the footage and admitted the shark's dimensions exceeded every recorded measurement. Some argued it might be a deep-sea species never before documented, while others speculated about the possibility of a surviving megalodon. Though the divers surfaced unharmed, the encounter left them rattled. For them, the Mariana Trench was no longer just the ocean's deepest scar. It was a reminder of what might still hunt far below. Number 11. Deep-sea dragonfish. The deep-sea dragonfish is another fish species that not much is known about. However, with the little we do know and have seen, these guys are actually pretty fascinating. Capable of diving as low as 5,000 feet below sea level, these sneaky little devils are quite peculiar. Their bodies are slim and pointy, although they only grow up to a few inches in length. Now, if you thought that the fact that these fishes are so small means they're not a threat, well, you're half right. A deep-sea dragonfish might not be large enough to bite your finger off, but that doesn't mean it won't give it a shot. And why wouldn't it? The fishes have enormous, long teeth that can easily hold on to just about anything. And with those massive jaws, good luck getting anything out of its mouth once it lays a bite. However, what is truly fascinating about these fishes is their photophores. Two lights that seemingly radiate out from under the fish's eyes. The photophores glow in unison when it's dark, one red and the other blue. But that's not all. Recently, scientists discovered that the entire bodies of these fishes actually light up in the dark as well. No one really knows why their bodies light up like that, but I've got to say it looks pretty rad. Number 10. The Western Pacific biotwang. In 2014 and 2015, researchers studying the Mariana Trench came across something truly interesting. While searching for signs of new life or other undiscovered species, they came across a bioacoustic anomaly that immediately drew their attention. The sounds caused seemed to have come from a mixture of mechanical and biological factors, leading scientists to be very confused. The entire sound profile lasted no more than 3.5 seconds. But take a listen. Scientists eventually dubbed the sound the Western Pacific biotwang. For years, researchers and scientists struggled to find out what could have caused that sound. However, research published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America suggested that the sounds were being produced by a species of baleen whales as it was similar to the Star Wars sound made by dwarf minke whales. The sound is actually reminiscent of some old-timey electro music beats. Maybe Pharrell Williams could help us drop one or two mixes on that. Number 9. Whale fall. Whales are among the biggest creatures that live in the sea. Probably the biggest, I'd say. But what do you think happens when a whale dies in the ocean? Well, when whales die, their bodies are pretty much buried underwater. This is a phenomenon called whale fall. Essentially, when a whale dies and its body descends into the depth of the ocean and decomposes over time, usually whale fall will involve the descent of a whale's carcass below 1,000 meters. However, in the rarest of situations, they could go even further. As you'd expect, whale falls pretty much create a buffet for sea creatures that live so deep below sea level. After all, not many other animals come to this region that could serve as food. So, when the carcass of a whale comes along, everyone comes around and grabs a bite of whatever they can. According to scientists, the creatures that eventually get the carcass might be able to feast on it for years. Wow, what a harvest. Whale fall has also been noted for its ability to create complex ecosystems. Different species come together to enjoy this bounty, so it's a free-for-all. Number 8. Hatchet fish. The hatchet fish is another weird-looking animal that kind of looks like an alien. With a scaly body that glows in the dark and a strange teeth formation, you'd think these guys were from outer space, but nope, they're right here. Mother Nature truly is creative, isn't she? Unlike a lot of other fish species, the hatchet fish is actually pretty active. These guys are constantly on the move, going from one part of the ocean to another. Who's chasing them? What on earth are they looking for? Beats me. But the fish's ability to move from one end to another also makes it a formidable predator. With their ability to glow at will, the hatchet fish can easily blend into their surroundings. They can sneak up on prey or hide from prospective attackers pretty much at will. And just like the barrel fish, the hatchet fish also has large googly eyes that point upwards. As you'd expect, This is so that they can collect as much sunlight as possible while hunting for potential prey. The hatchet fish also has a mouth that tilts upwards, allowing it to easily scoop up meals from waters directly above it. Number 7. Vampire squid. The vampire squid is a bit of a hybrid. It has the features of both a squid and an octopus, although it doesn't really fit into either category. These cephalopods come in the shape, color, and general size of an NFL football. They were given the name vampire because of their distinct red color as well as the spine-like structures on their tentacle. The vampire squid is actually what is known as a living fossil, which means that it hasn't changed much ever since it was first discovered. These guys are so old. Scientists believe they first appeared about 300 million years ago. That's before the dinosaurs, guys. Boy, imagine the stories they could tell. Living in the pitch-black depths between 2,000 and 3,000 feet, the vampire squid thrives where oxygen levels are so low that most other creatures cannot survive. This remarkable adaptation allows it to occupy a niche almost entirely free from predators and competitors. Instead of relying on speed or brute force, it conserves energy, floating lazily with minimal movement until it needs to defend itself. When threatened, bioluminescent organs scattered across its body flash like a starry night sky, confusing predators long enough for it to escape. Such eerie light displays have fueled sailor legends for centuries, convincing some that glowing demons truly haunted the deep. Besides the color, the vampire squid is actually a pretty smart animal. Wherever it is threatened, it simply inverts its cape, displaying those large spinal structures that can easily cut a potential predator. It has a unique ability to react when it is startled. It can curl its web and arms around the rest of its body. I guess the cape thing is also a nod to its name. Remember Dracula? The vampire squid is also unique from other shallow-level squids because of the ink it expels. While its distant cousins expel a black sticky fluid to escape attacks, it chooses to expel a colorless substance instead. After all, black ink won't do much of a favor in the depths of the ocean. The vampire squid's fluid also contains sprinkles of light materials, which it uses to spot both predators and prey and act accordingly. Interestingly, however, the vampire squid is actually a pretty low-key animal. Despite their name, they actually don't eat meat. Instead, they eat dead organic material known as marine snow. Vampires that don't eat meat. Klaus Michelson would be disappointed. Number 6. Goblin shark. Sharks are pretty much the boogeymen of the underwater world. And as you'd expect, these guys even extend so deep that there's even a species of them that can get pretty close to the Mariana Trench. The goblin shark is one of the oldest and scariest species of shark in the world. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like the stuff of nightmares. No offense, though, Mr. Shark. Scientists believe that goblin sharks are a part of the Mitsucorinidae, a family of deep-sea dwellers that is thought to have originated at least 125 million years ago. They are the only existing members of the family, so you can imagine how lonely it must be for them. The first time one was pulled up by fishermen off the coast of Japan in the late 1800s, it caused absolute shock because no one had ever seen such a bizarre creature alive. Since then, only a handful of sightings have been recorded, often when the shark is accidentally caught in deep-sea nets. Most of the time, they remain in total darkness, gliding slowly along the ocean floor like living fossils. Their long, flattened snouts are packed with electrosensitive organs, allowing them to detect the faintest signals from hidden prey. Combine that with their extendable jaws, and they become ambush hunters perfectly adapted for survival in the crushing deep. Some divers who've seen them describe the encounter as feeling like looking into the face of prehistory itself. It's no wonder the goblin shark is often called the vampire shark, a title fitting for its nightmarish visage and stealthy hunting style. Befitting old and lonely guys, these sharks are as mean as they come, and they have the physical features to boot. Most goblin sharks are between 10 and 12 feet in length, but some have been found to grow even bigger. They're usually sluggish when they move, although they spring to life when they see prey. According to scientists, goblin sharks have the quickest jaws in the ocean. Their jaws snap at a speed of 10 feet per second, so fast that you can literally only see them in slow motion. They're the perfect prehistoric apex predators, and with jaws that fast, good luck escaping them. Number 5. Mariana snailfish. The Mariana snailfish is a truly phenomenal species of fish. They're not the biggest in the ocean, but they're known to dive deeper than any other species of fish ever. I mean, even for the great white shark, I don't think it'd be a cakewalk if it had to follow one of these guys deep into the trench just to hunt food. The first specimen of the Mariana snailfish was caught back in 2014, so we don't know much about them. When that first snailfish was brought to the surface, scientists were stunned. It had survived pressures thought impossible for vertebrate life. Later expeditions revealed entire colonies of these ghostly fish living at crushing depths where no other predators dared to go. Cameras have captured them calmly swimming in near-freezing darkness, their translucent skin glowing faintly under artificial light. Unlike most deep-sea creatures, They don't have the bizarre bioluminescent lures or sharp teeth. Instead, their survival comes from perfect adaptation to pressure. Their bones are barely mineralized, making their bodies soft enough to withstand extreme forces that would pulverize others. Even more fascinating, their cells are filled with a special chemical compound called TMAO, which protects their proteins from collapsing under such intense pressure. Without this natural armor, life at 7,500 feet and beyond would be impossible. But these fishes definitely look kind of prehistoric, don't you think? There are hundreds of species of these fishes available, and they've adapted quite well to living at such great depths. They have little pigment on their bodies and don't have scales. Their dorsal fins also reach back to their tails, helping them dive so well. Snailfish also have suckers underneath their bodies, which they use to latch onto other animals, either for transport or to eat them, usually measuring just about 2 feet in length. Snailfish can get as deep as 7,500 feet underwater. According to scientists, the pressure where some snailfishes live is so intense that it would feel like the weight of about 3,000 rhinos pressing against you. Anything that follows these guys into the deep is almost guaranteed to never come back. Number 4. Barrel fish. The barrel fish is one of the most peculiar fish species currently living underwater. Discovered many decades ago, these fishes are primarily indigenous to the Pacific Ocean where they live very deep. Like many fishes that frequent the Mariana Trench region, the barrel fish is incredibly difficult to catch and even more difficult to observe in its natural habitat. Nevertheless, there have been a few sightings of the rare fish and a few recordings, and I've got to say, it sure looks quite unsettling. When deep-sea submersibles first captured footage of the barrel fish in the wild, scientists were stunned to see its entire head glowing faintly under the lights, giving it a ghostly, alien-like appearance. Early reports from the 1930s described specimens caught in nets with crushed, clouded heads, which led researchers to believe the fish was simply deformed, until modern video proved its transparent skull was a natural feature. Some deep-sea explorers have even likened encountering a barrel fish to staring directly into a helmeted astronaut floating in the abyss. Its eerie gaze seems to follow intruders, even though its eyes are locked in an upward position, a detail that has fascinated and unsettled divers alike. On rare occasions, scientists have observed barrel fish rotating their tubular eyes forward, a movement that completely changes their expression and reveals just how advanced their vision system truly is. This strange ability allows them to track prey drifting above, while also glancing forward when necessary, an adaptation almost unheard of in fish. The combination of its glassy head and binocular vision makes the barrel fish one of the most mysterious hunters of the deep, a living reminder of how bizarre evolution can be. The barrel fish surely lives up to its name with weird eyes that can unsettle anyone. Now, speaking of those eyes, you might think that the eyes are those 2 circles just above its mouth. But that's not actually true. Those are nares, kind of like gills that allow the fish to respire. Its eyes are actually those green things behind the nares. They look up, giving the fish its name. The tubular eyes, as they've been called, are quite large because the barrel fish needs to collect enough sunlight as it dives too deep into the ocean. Just as well, the shape of the eyes allows them to see farther away, kind of like having a pair of binoculars in its head. But what's especially weird was the fish's transparent large head. It covers the eyes almost like a helmet. Of course, the head is transparent because of the position of the fish's eyes. According to scientists, the fish always has to look up because it stays just below its prey. Number 3. Frilled shark. The frilled shark is one of the most bizarre creatures on the planet. If you thought the goblin shark was scary, well, you ain't seen anything yet. With a length of about 6.6 feet, the frilled shark is native to the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. It has frills around its gills that make it look like a prehistoric monster, something crafted by someone with a weird imagination. Only that, in this case, this guy is as real as it gets. Nicknamed a living fossil, the frilled shark's lineage dates back more than 80 million years, surviving nearly unchanged while countless other species went extinct. Its snake-like body allows it to swim in sudden bursts, coiling and striking at prey much like an eel. Scientists have documented frilled sharks lunging forward to swallow entire squid in one swift motion, using their rows of backward curved teeth to prevent any chance of escape. On rare occasions when they are caught on camera near the surface, their eerie movements and gaping jaws often leave witnesses unsettled, as if they are glimpsing a creature from another era. Fishermen in Japan and Norway have occasionally pulled up frilled sharks in their nets, describing the creatures as both terrifying and mesmerizing, unlike anything else in the sea. Some accounts even suggest that sailors of old may have mistaken frilled sharks for sea serpents, fueling centuries of maritime legends. Its rarity only adds to the mystique, with most sightings occurring at extreme depths beyond the reach of casual divers. The shark feeds mostly on smaller sharks, bony fishes, and cephalopods, and it pretty much spends its entire day hunting for food. Scientists estimate that the frilled shark has about 300 teeth in its mouth. The teeth are arranged in 25 rows each, with all of them being razor-sharp and ready to take down anything. Best believed that if this shark catches anything, the chances of survival are slim to none. With large and adjustable jaws, the frilled shark is also able to extend its mouth and eat something about half its body weight. The fish also has an expandable digestive system that allows it to take in a large piece of prey and break it down very slowly. Again, with so few of these fishes being seen and most of them swimming very deep below the ocean, not much is known about them. But hey, with bull sharks and great white sharks, I think it's safe to say we've got our plates more than full. Number 2. Plastic bags. While we're all fascinated by the different animals found in the Mariana Trench, I think it's also important to note a critical trend, one that's not so great. In 2019, American undersea explorer Victor Vescovo became the first person to dive into the deepest points of the 5 oceans across the Earth. At the time, the 53-year-old went into Challenger Deep, the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, which measures about 11,034 meters. When he returned to the surface, Victor explained a few things he had seen. Awesome sea creatures, rare forms of ocean life, the whole thing. But mixed among these marvels of nature was something far more disturbing, the unmistakable sight of plastic bags floating where no human should ever be able to leave a footprint. Seeing man-made trash at nearly 7 miles below sea level was a shocking reminder of how far pollution has spread. Scientists who analyzed the footage later confirmed that these were not isolated pieces, but part of a broader accumulation that has been slowly sinking into the abyss. Reports following his dive suggested that microplastics, invisible to the naked eye, were also embedded in the sediments of the trench, meaning the contamination runs even deeper than what cameras can capture. The fact that a place untouched by light, pressure-packed and remote beyond imagination, could still bear the scars of human negligence, rattled even the most seasoned researchers. Victor himself described the discovery as bittersweet, thrilled to break records but heartbroken to find trash as deep as life itself. Other expeditions in the years since have echoed this finding, spotting bottles, wrappers, and fishing gear resting silently on the seafloor. It's a chilling revelation that our oceans, once thought vast and invulnerable, are now repositories for our waste. The Mariana Trench, once the purest frontier of exploration, has become an unintended archive of human activity. But he also found plastic bags and candy wrappers on his expedition. Victor's expedition proves that even the deepest parts of the ocean aren't immune to the effects of pollution. According to sources, over 8 million tons of plastic are dumped into the world's oceans annually. If this trend continues, the population of plastic in the ocean will have eclipsed that of actual fish by 2050. Victor isn't the only person to discover plastic in the Mariana Trench. Researchers believe there are at least thousands of litter pieces just sitting pretty there. We've got to do better, guys, for our planet. Number 1. A megalodon. So we've come to the grand finale. And when I say grand, trust me, this one's gonna knock your socks right off. In 2016, Japanese marine biologists and expeditionists were observing life forms in the Mariana Trench when they came across something truly startling. One of their cameras, which had been stationed in a solitary position, caught wind of a massive shark that looked nothing like what we had ever seen before. According to estimates, the size of the large animal appears to be somewhere between 60 and 65 feet in length. That would make it about 3 times longer than the largest recorded great white shark. And did you see its gills? The footage showed those gills flaring with a slow, deliberate rhythm, as if this beast had adapted to the crushing pressures of the deep in a way no other shark could. Scientists reviewing the video noted the creature's movements were unnervingly smooth, gliding like a shadow through the abyss, rather than darting like a typical predator. Some even pointed out strange ridges along its dorsal line, features not consistent with any known species of shark. The longer researchers watched, the more they realized that its sheer bulk seemed out of proportion to modern sharks, its body tapering into a tail strong enough to propel it like a torpedo. Eyewitness accounts from the team described a sense of dread as the animal briefly turned toward the camera, its massive eye reflecting the light in a way that made it appear intelligent, calculating. Online forums lit up with debates, with some claiming the video was undeniable proof that megalodons had survived extinction. The discovery ignited a firestorm of speculation that perhaps the Mariana Trench, with its alien-like depths, may shelter more than just this one leviathan. I really doubt that this guy is something from this world, or at the very least something we've seen before. Something like that could have a jaw measuring about 10 feet in width. more than enough to swallow two adults standing side by side. When they published the footage, it immediately set off different theories. Some believe this could be a megalodon, an extinct species of mackerel shark that lived between 23 and 3.6 million years ago. The megalodon was the largest shark to ever exist at the time, and while it went extinct, some believe that it could still be in existence deep in the Mariana Trench. There are also theories that the Mariana Trench might not necessarily be the deepest part of the ocean. Some scientists believe its surface to be a false surface, hiding an even more intense region of ocean water and aquatic life beneath. What if one megalodon, or perhaps even a few, have simply evaded human detection all these years? The ocean's depths remain some of the least explored places on Earth. Considering that the oceans cover about 71% of our planet, it's incredible to think how much we still don't know about the life forms that exist beneath the surface. Still, imagining what might be discovered is fascinating, and who knows what we could uncover in the next century or two. Did any of these discoveries catch you by surprise? Would you dare join an expedition into the mysterious Mariana Trench? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.